Hello, this is Simon Scriver checking in again. I am all dressed up. I'm wearing a waistcoat, and I'm in a hotel room, so I'm like Michael Bublé. You know how whenever Michael Bublé gets photographed, he's kind of fixing his tie and looks smart, and is probably in a hotel room. So I'm one of those dickheads. But today I'm just in Cork running a seminar, and thought I'd do a video about emotion in fundraising, and emotion in advertisement, because a couple of videos came out this week. We're in the run up to Christmas now, so we're seeing all the emotional Christmas advertising where shops kind of try and manipulate us into spending more money. And there was the John Lewis penguin ad, which was amazing, and actually made me a bit I cried, because it's all like about someone, you see your own son in these images. And then there's the Waitrose ad, which I didn't cry in, but again, it's this emotional thing. And I just in my last couple of seminars, I've been showing a few emotional ads. One of them is the Werthers Originals ad, which I'll put a link to, which is one of my favorite ads, and makes me gets me teary-eyed and makes me want to donate to Werthers Originals, which is ridiculous. But the other video I show, which always I think starts a good debate, is one by Concern Worldwide a few years ago, which is an ad I really like, which I show as an example because it's that really stereotypical charity ad, with the starving black children with the flies on the face, and that where they can't even hold their head up. And I used to, years ago, I never really liked ads like that, and I kind of frowned upon those kind of ads, and I thought all the ads should be positive and uplifting. But actually, when I saw that Concern ad the first time a few years ago, it made me want to do something, and that's when I went and signed up with the Concern Street Fundraiser, was after seeing that ad, because it struck me so much that this was, I knew this stuff was happening, but just whatever mood it caught me in, the way it was presented, it just it changed everything in my head. But a lot of people don't like that ad because they feel it's disrespectful, and they feel it's making you feel guilty, and it's trying to make you feel guilty. And I just thought that was worth kind of talking about a little bit. I mean, in terms of the images, charities are trying to move away from those images, and you see even like the DOCUS code of conduct for images, which talks about any images charities use should present the beneficiaries with dignity, with equality, and I suppose the question would be, do ads like the Concern ad, do they do that? And really, I suppose my opinion now is like, they're not actors, they're showing the truth. They're showing, reality is reality no matter how you show it. I mean, you can kind of twist reality, but to show raw footage of a child starving to death, which is actually happening right now, I mean, is there anything wrong with showing that as a reality? And I think my opinion on guilt now is that you can't make people feel guilty by showing them reality. That's not, people might disagree with this, but that's not the shower's responsibility. It's the viewer's responsibility on whether you feel guilty or not. So when I see ads for even Bernardo's, or like the Childline ads running at the moment, and I either think I'm doing my bit and I'm comfortable with that, or I'm not going to do my bit because I would rather spend my money on my own family or myself at this given time. So I think, I don't feel guilty about what I could be doing, because I'm content with my decision about who I donate to and how much I donate. And if any guilt seeps in when I see ads like the Concern ad or the Childline ad, like, that guilt comes from me knowing that I'm not doing enough and I could be doing more. Otherwise, I wouldn't feel guilty. So I mean, I think, like, these emotions that we're built on, shame and loss and guilt, everything revolves around shame and loss and guilt. But we choose those, or we choose how we behave that create those emotions. I think. I think. But with all these ads and with all this this guilt and this images and I think what underlies it all. One of the things that underlies it is that we don't like to think we're being manipulated by charities. And I suppose when you see those ads, the feeling is that there's a team of people or a person who's made the decision to show you that to manipulate you into donating. But I mean, I think it's the same with private companies. Like John Lewis, when a team of people sat around and were like, well, people like penguins, people like kids, people like fantasy, people like a bit of love. Let's mix it all together. Let's manipulate people so that they go and they buy our shit, and we make our bonuses this year, and that our shareholders make the biggest profits they've made this year. And they're consciously manipulating us to get money out of us. And I suppose charities do that as well. So maybe one of the questions I've been thinking is, why are we so tolerant of private companies doing it? Why do we love the John Lewis ad and share it and think it's great, where the general public do, whereas when there's a charity ad, it sometimes feels a little bit like we're being manipulated, and we're maybe not quite as quick to share it and compliment it. Is that true? Maybe that's not true. Maybe we do share it and compliment it the same. I don't know. But in terms of me, like, I would rather be manipulated by I would rather not be manipulated by anyone, but I would rather be manipulated by a charity who is helping someone than manipulated by a private company that is benefiting a handful of people, a handful of shareholders. It's responsibility of charity to use their money most effectively, and if that involves using emotion to change the way we think and make us take action, then isn't that justified for charities to do that? As long as they're not lying and as long as they're not distorting the truth, they're showing real images, then that's okay. I mean, and if we don't like it, our response is to be more logical, is to not donate off the back of TV ads, not donate to door-to-door fundraisers, telephone fundraisers, not respond to DM, and just make our logical decision on who we donate to and how much. But we don't do that, and we're not gonna do that anytime soon. But if you want to stop that kind of imagery and that kind of advertising, you have to stop responding to it, which we won't. I posted a few of these videos on Twitter, and one excellent fundraiser got back to me who actually was involved in that concern ad that made me become a donor years ago. He's a guy called Derek Humphreys, who is worth following on Twitter. And I'm going to read exactly what he said. I have it written here. So he said, I think we have a moral duty to tell it like it is and offer people the opportunity to help. I hate the fact that I have to produce some of the stuff I do, but it's plain wrong to bury the truth under poverty porn denial. I think some use of images is misjudged, but it's poverty, injustice, etc. that rob people of their dignity, not fundraising. It's poverty and injustice that rob people of their dignity, not the fundraising. That's really good. But I'm curious to hear what you think. As always, subscribe to the video. Leave a comment. I'm doing that thing people do. It's breaking. It's not even breaking the fourth wall. It's breaking the fifth wall. Leave a comment. I'm curious to hear what people think about this imagery and about using it, and even about emotional manipulation. Like, we are bombarded with emotional manipulation all day, every day, mainly by private companies. Share a Coke with Jennifer. All this. Everything, just the amount of stuff you're being hit with every day. Apple, Samsung, it's crazy. So what do you think about it? Is it how awful is it? All right, thank you.